M.I.A. is a talented singer-songwriter and hip-hop artist who has the rare honor of being nominated, get this, for an Oscar and a Grammy in the same year. She's featured on the soundtrack of one of the year's biggest films, Slumdog Millionaire, and is up for Record of the Year for her song, Paper Planes. Here is some of the video for Paper Planes. So we'll deal with the obvious first. Somebody is having a baby.
It's M.I.A. and the baby here.
Somebody's having a baby. The baby ain't M.I.A. I can see that.
I know,
Yeah.
it's very there.
Hey, yeah, there he is. You got that, Jose? You got that nice baby? There you go. Got that nice baby shot?
It's
I
like
love
the
this.
moon.
Yes, I want the baby to know that she was on television before they were even born. The funny thing, maybe funny is the wrong word, I find it interesting. So you're nominated for a Grammy, and I'm told the baby is due on Grammy night?
Mm-hmm. So if I turn up, I have to turn
out?
up in my hospital gown on a stretcher, and they already have like a helicopter organized for my fast exit plan. And,
Did you plan it this way? Have the baby on the Grammy day?
No, not at all. I didn't even know I was going to get nominated, and then they nominated me for a Brit as well in England, and it was just like everything happened the same week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's insane.
I asked M.I.A. when she walked out. We just talking off camera. And I said, "So where's home for you these days? Where do you live?" She says, "You know, I live in New York." So I was asking her when she was headed back to New York. She says, "Oh no, I can't fly now. I'm stuck in L.A." So the baby, we know where the baby's going to be born because you're not getting on a plane to go back to New York for a few days.
No, and the Grammys are here anyway.
Exactly.
So it just worked out. Like, as soon as I came, and they were like, "You can't fly," and then I found out that I was nominated, and that's kind of why, you know, they invited me to go on the show to do the Grammys and perform there. But they say anything could trigger off labor. So
not now not for the next 9 minutes, please.
I know, but I think like singing with Jay-Z and Lil Wayne and Kanye.
Yeah, that can make anything happen.
T.I. could,
that can make anything. With them girls, anything could happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. So just not for the next 9 minutes. What do you make of all of this? I mean, this is like rare. I mean, Grammy, Oscar, same. That's huge.
I think, you know, this is a good luck baby for me, and all the events, like the way it's been happening, the way I've been sort of seeing it, is that being the only Tamil, you know, in the Western media, I have a really great opportunity to sort of bring forward what's going on in Sri Lanka, you know? Like, my success, it just seems to parallel the situation in Sri Lanka. Like, the more successful I'm getting, the dire the situation in Sri Lanka is getting. And there's a genocide going on, and you know, it's ironic that I am the only Tamil, and like I've turned into the only voice for the Tamil people, you know, the 20% minority in my country. And yeah, it's weird that I'm being given the opportunity.
This platform,
platform.
Since you've been given the platform, take it for just a second. For those who may not be familiar with Sri Lanka and the Tamil people, tell me the top line of who the Tamil people are, what's happening in Sri Lanka, now that you have this platform to talk about.
Well, Sri Lanka is an island off the coast of India. There's two ethnicities there, one the Sinhalese, which is the majority in the government, and the minority, who are the Tamils. That's where I'm from. And, you know, my lifetime sort of began there. I spent 10 years, and I was there when the war started, and fled as a refugee to England. And basically, since I fled, you know, till now, there's been a systematic genocide, and, you know, which has kind of been a quiet thing because no one knows where Sri Lanka is. And now it's just escalated to the point, you know, there's 350,000 people who are stuck in a battle zone and can't get out, and you know, AID's banned, and humanitarian organizations are banned, journalists are banned from telling the story. You know, it's just like one-sided, 100%. And I think it's just escalated because Obama was coming into power, because, you know, only under sort of Bush's presidency that you could get away with doing as much as that. So yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. Like, Tamils make up 20% of the country, and they're getting wiped out, and I happen to be one of them.
When you say, and I want to come back to their music in a second, but this is important. When you say there's genocide happening there, what's your sense for why a story of genocide isn't being covered more in the media? Why don't we know more about this?
You don't know more about it because due to the propaganda, when you think Tamil, you automatically think tiger. And that is completely disproportionate, you know? So human beings like around the world have to be taught to go Tamil equals Tamil civilians first, and the Tamil tigers are a separate thing, you know? And both of those groups are different. It's like a square and a circle. And the thing is, there's only 4,000 Tamil Tiger soldiers in Sri Lanka, and if you want, you could just sneeze and wipe them out in a day, you know? And they're not that sophisticated with their weaponry and stuff like that. The Sri Lankan government, which is like 1 million soldiers big, can handle that. But using those people, you know, we're managing to wipe out the whole Tamil population, the civilians, and that is why you don't hear about it, because you know, the propaganda in the media, because if you're a terrorist organization, you don't have the right to speak, that is passed on to the Tamil civilians. The Tamil civilians don't have the right to speak or right to live. They don't have any liberties. So that's been like the key thing, that when you think Al-Qaeda, you're not thinking Afghanistan, you know, that if you want to go and fight and kill Al-Qaeda, then you can, but you can't wipe out Afghanistan, you know? And that's what's happening in Sri Lanka. And I think it's really important for America to understand that, because they set the precedents on like how you fight terrorism around the world, you know? And it's really important that just that sort of throwaway comment, oh, Tamil, she must be a Tamil tiger, actually the repercussions of that is like killing people back home.
And offensive, I would assume.
Yeah, definitely. Because, yeah.
Well, I'm glad we had a chance to talk about that. I mean, you learn something. I learn something on the show every day, so I thank you for indulging my questions about that. You mentioned, when we're talking about your country, you mentioned that you sort of grew up there and you were there for at least 10 years. But there were some other years where you weren't there. And I was reading about your background. You've lived like a lot of places. How has that impacted your music, your sound, your style, the fact that you...
Well, I've lived in India too.
Right.
And
London and...
Yeah. I've just always traveled because, you know, that's what you do when you're a refugee.
Yeah.
And I think it's just... it's impacted me because I'm not judgmental, you know, and I like to hear things from the horse's mouth, and I use my own brain to make judgments about what the truth is and what isn't. And I know it from my own experiences what that is, you know. And I think it's always been, that's the thing about my music. Like, I wanted to become a musician and help like some sort of change, or stand up for what I believe in, or use music for what it's supposed to be for, you know. And so it wasn't really about getting fame and success and becoming a celebrity and selling records. It was more about bringing together an opinion or a point of view of the other that doesn't usually get, you know, that doesn't usually get heard in the mainstream.
You know, there are a lot of artists who shy away from that. They don't want to bring their truth, whatever that is, into their music. They just want to entertain people.
But music, you know, music was also used for social change. It's not a bad word, you know. And I think we just kind of shy away from it because, yeah, the pressure of being successful and the pressure of being like sexy and standing up for nothing is just so big, you know. You know what I mean? And
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so I think that is, you have to be pretty tough to like fight that. And the fact that I kind of had the experiences that I had made me so, you know, tough and thick-skinned that it didn't matter what anyone put onto me, but it was more about what, you know, the people that I was representing.
Yeah. Tell me about the song